number 5. All right, your official intro. We'll cut all that out. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are now on the YouTube.
Oh, what's up?
What's up? What's up? This is Movie Book Club number 5.
The other
I'm
four
I'm
are
looking at
lost.
myself, but I want to look up at the screen. Sorry.
Yeah.
The
The other four are lost to Instagram live streams. So
I was thinking we could do another video after this that just sums up 1 through 4.
oh my god. Okay, we can try that.
30 seconds.
30 seconds for each movie. No, each movie.
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
And we'll do something with that. This is the end of the tour and First Reformed.
Fun fact, real fast. You know how I said I didn't see either of these movies? I actually saw the end of the tour a while ago. Forgot what the name of it was, and why, and I saw it.
So, but did you rewatch it again?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I just finished First Reformed.
I just finished First Reformed a little bit ago. Like maybe an hour ago. So
yeah. Last night I was like, can't do it. Let's talk about the end of the tour first.
Okay. You got it.
Okay. I have IMBD up if we need it. All right. That was like last week. End of the tour. All right. Oh, to give an intro to how this works, we each start out with a little sentence and then give a rating out of 3 with decimals, and then we go on to talk about it. So, I really liked the movie. You know, I like slower movies.
Yeah.
I think we'll get into it, but I think so. David Lipsky, Jesse Eisenberg. I think his character was really interesting because he was like cocky but weird, and you could kind of relate to him, but then you couldn't. I think I didn't like how he played his role in the beginning. He was super like weirdly cocky and like kind of hard to watch. And maybe I don't know. That was just like I was watching with my dad, and we were both like, this is really annoying to watch.
Really?
That was just our current thought. After the movie ended, I liked both of their character like fluctuations, their character like arches. But development. Thank you. Arches. Arcs. I don't know. That's what's sticking in my head right now. I really liked the movie. I thought it was a cool it was so weird like how they set up the movie. Anyways, we'll get into it. I'm gonna give it it was another I'm gonna give it a 2.6.
Okay, all right. That's exactly what I was thinking, but I really enjoy this movie. I'm like a huge fan of Jesse Eisenberg. Like,
he's cool.
He plays a lot of like arrogance in a lot of the characters. So I understand where you're coming from, where I didn't really feel like I wasn't annoyed with him or his character. But I do like understand like the one scene where he's like demanding to like interview this guy.
I think it was just little things.
Yeah. Like that was like, dude, you just started at Rolling Stone.
Yeah. And then when he freaked out on his girlfriend.
Well, okay. I think that just showed I think that's like really just shows like how, obviously it's based off of real events that occurred.
Yeah.
But like that just really shows how all authors are just all like really egomaniacs and like jealous people.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, because like they all, to be a writer means that you feel like you have something to say and you feel like people should listen to what you have to say, or else you're just writing for no real reason. Like if you're a serious fiction writer, like you are writing for the purpose of people to read it. Like,
Yeah.
like if you're not, then that's just silly. Anyway, yeah, I think David Lipsky is like in that first, he just like literally just released this novel, and like the after, or like he's at like some party after he does like a reading for his book, and like and all like a reviewer is like the next year's book awards are decided because of David Foster Wallace's Infinite Jest. And like if you're an author who just released a novel, you'd probably be like, what the fuck? Yeah. But I really like David Foster Wallace. And who's the guy from How I Met Your Mother? What's his name? Segel?
Oh, yeah. Jason Segel.
Jason Segel. Great. I think he was great in this movie. Like, that's weird. He's a weirdo, like, for sure. But, like, I think he played this character really well. And, like, I think my favorite part of it is just, like, how intellectual, like, most of the dialogue is. And it's, like, at times, like, really hard. It's, like, really heady and, like, somewhat difficult to follow, like, to a certain extent. But, like, I think that was, like, obviously that's, like, 80% of the movie. But, like, I really enjoyed that part of the film. And to, like, understand that I feel like now I have to read Infinite Jest, although, like,
I know. I was thinking that too, but it's like another one of those like 800-page books.
It's 1,000 pages, which I don't think I've ever read a 500-page book. So
I really want to read Dune by Herbert something. Anyways, it's like 1,000 pages, and so I'll just read those two books the rest of my life.
Yeah, your whole life. Like, read 100 pages every 5 years.
What do you give the movie?
Oh, sorry. I started that whole rant with I agree with you. I'm giving it a 2.6.
Gotcha.
2.6
Okay.
Well, not because it's meh, but because I really like it. But it's like a slower film. Like, if I'm thinking about it, like, in terms of like watchability, like, I think it's an easily watchable film. But like, it's like a great tribute to David Foster Wallace and David Lipsky's book. Yeah, I liked it. It was good.
I feel like we've watched so many movies that start out at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm so tired of it.
It's like, it is like, okay, for the sake of this film, like, I think that it kind of works.
Oh, it makes so much sense in this film.
Yeah.
I'm just making a point of like, I'm tired of it.
It's like, why does there's some movies that it makes sense, like this film. But there's other movies that, like, it doesn't make sense at all. Yeah. It doesn't make sense at all.
I'm really glad First Reform just started.
Yeah. We'll talk about that
film. Talk about
it. But anyway, I thought, like, all of the characters, like, all of the actors played their parts really well.
Oh my God, what's her name?
I
love Joan Cusack.
Yeah, her, like, she's so. You're wearing that to a radio interview? Yeah.
In PR.
Like, that was great. The amount of cigarettes that were smoked in this film is insane.
The food that they ate.
Oh, yeah. Like, I was thinking, honestly, like, first scene when Jesse Eisenberg's character, David Lipsky, is driving in it's not the first scene, I'm sorry. Like, the scene where he gets into the rental car and is driving.
Yeah.
And he, like, pulls out a cigarette. I don't know. Okay, this is gonna sound stupid. My first thought was, like, I wonder if actors that, like, play characters that are smoking real cigarettes, and if they are, like, are they smokers in real life, or, like, do they have the ability to just like play the role and smoke cigarettes in the role and then not smoke outside of it?
That's what the
They're
movie's about. That's
addictive.
that's
It's
all the
like,
movie's about.
I'm sorry, I was really stuck on that thought, and I kept thinking about it like throughout the film. I'm like, Jason Segel and Jesse Eisenberg get addicted to cigarettes for this film?
Yep,
Like,
it's worth it.
but yeah, dude,
I
yeah,
I was gonna say let's talk about like Jason
the
Segel.
actual movie, like the actual movie
Yeah,
instead of
I mean,
cigarettes
yeah.
for smoke.
Let's let's talk about Jason Segel's character more because
Yeah,
I think we kind of covered it with Jesse
yeah,
Eisenberg. It's like
yeah,
I think he was a little awkward, but I get the role he was playing, and I really like his like development at the
yeah,
end. But I think um the conversation that first we can go back, but like the first thing that comes to my head when I think of like Jason Segel in this movie is the conversation near the end that they have in the car where Jesse Eisenberg like confronts him and is like, dude, what is this whole thing you're playing like this?
yeah,
This
yeah,
is annoying. Like, stop it. And he's like, you don't get it. I'm smart when I'm in a room by myself, but when I'm normal day to day conversation, like I can't keep up. Like,
yeah,
I think that's when the movie, like, I really like, I liked the movie. I liked the movie before, but that like made it. That conversation was really good because it wasn't too like, I don't know, it wasn't too out there because,
yeah,
like you said, it was heady. Like the
yeah,
conversations were definitely like heady, and you have to like be there for it. But I think that conversation was really nice, and that really like changed like Jesse's
yeah,
character.
yeah. I think so. And like, yeah, from like Lipsky's perspective, um, well, like if you were a literary and you wrote a novel and then this other novel blew your novel out of the water, like no one even gave a rat's ass about your novel, you read it and you're like, this is amazing, I need to meet this man and talk to him, and then you get this opportunity to do so through Rolling Stone, and then you meet this guy and he's a fucking nobody from like Idaho or Iowa,
You're like,
wherever the hell
I
it is.
try. Why am I not better?
Yeah, and then like you talk to him and you have conversations with him just one-on-one, and like he's like an intelligent individual, and he's very like heady, talking about like very complex ideas, and then he gets in a room with like two girls and he's just like, let's watch movies, let's watch TV, like you would be like, this guy is acting, like he's faking.
Yeah,
But like, I think that really speaks to David Foster Wallace as a person and Jason Segel's portrayal of him, that like he's really just like a normal guy
yeah,
that like really liked writing and wrote a book, and like people fucking love it, like
yeah. I think like talking about like that. I think this movie did a really good job of just talking about not just celebrities, but celebrities that are famous because of something they've done.
yeah,
Um, not just writers and like artists. Like um, I think it just did a really good job of. Obviously, there are some very like well-off artists that can have great conversations and are smart all the time, but a
yeah,
lot of artists and people like that are similar to
normal,
David Foster Wallace. Yeah.
like normal people, like that's something
Yeah.
that like it really normalized, like writers, like I just like throughout the film just kept thinking about how like, oh, like I wonder if like literaries of like the past were like, obviously TV might not have been around or whatever, like, but like did they just like do normal shit like other normal people of that time? And like I think that like the whole like TV thing, like the fact that he was like addicted to TV or whatever, like
Yeah.
that really like normalized it and normalized him and like writers as a whole, and just like, yeah, like they are just like regular ass people
Yeah.
that like are, I mean, like at the same time they have conversations that normal people wouldn't have, but
Hmm.
it's probably it has to do, and Jason Segel's character like talks to the fact that like they're, as writers, they're very like conscious, like self-conscious individuals.
Mm-hmm.
So, like those conversations are, I think, just like a reflection of the fact that they are very self-reflecting and like conscious.
Yeah.
um but yeah, this movie is great. I think I really like how like a lot of it is just, it's almost like a buddy film, you know? It's just like two guys like kind of just hanging out, you
Yeah.
know? But then I like the tension. Like I think the tension is played really well. Like how there's really no like there's no like blow up, you know? Like there's really no like blah, blah, blah. Like there is eventually, but like at
Yeah.
the beginning it's kind of just like, dude, like you just hit on my ex-girlfriend right in front of me, and like,
Yeah.
and it
And
just shows like how both of them are so jealous of each other for other reasons. And it's like, dude, like,
yeah.
you know, you're just people.
And on that, I think one of my favorite lines from the film was when Lipsky was leaving his house, and Foster Wallace said, "You don't want to be me."
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
was, and that's like how he left him. It was just like, "You don't want to be me."
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
um, I
I also, I like how it's framed, like how, like you said, like it starts at the end. Like I like how that's framed, and I really like how they return to it at the end of the film
I do too. Yeah.
to show how Lipsky, like, although like there might have been some animosity, and like obviously he's a writer writing an interview about him, but like how much they really like become good friends through
Yeah.
this like 5-day experience.
Yeah.
Like he's crying while he's reading this novel that he ends up writing about him and that experience, you
Yeah.
know? Like,
I think it was the idea of like a 5 day. I think everything, like the plot of it was really cool, and obviously this was real life, but just the
yeah,
fact that he went on this 5 day excursion to this guy's end of his tour to like be in his home. And
yeah,
I mean, he wasn't going to be like sleeping there at first, and he let him there, but I think everything that happened was just super interesting. That like it
yeah,
was kind of like, all right, I'm gonna be there for 5 days, and whatever happens, happens. I think that's a cool way to like conduct an interview instead of
yeah,
like
no, for sure.
over coffee, and then you like try and profile this whole person's life,
Yeah. I
especially
think
like
that
someone like him.
it would be sick if like more interviews were conducted in this manner, like
Yeah.
longer experiences, like, and I think it's a testament to like David Foster Wallace's like ability to like be real, you know? Like I think that when I think about it, I'm like, I kind of am mad at David Lipsky to a certain extent for like thinking that Foster Wallace is like posing as someone else when like he let him into his house, like,
Yeah.
and he's real with him, like they're like hanging out, like they're like
This
it
isn't
feels
like
like
a
they could
this
just
isn't a
all,
facade. Yeah.
yeah, like dude, I'm just like a normal like we're just hanging out, you know? And like, yeah,
I love
I
his
don't know.
dogs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, his dogs are cute. And I like that. I really like the scene of him teaching. Like I thought that was a cool scene.
That was nice.
Even though it was like short, I honestly wish that I saw a little bit more of that just to see him interact. I know, like, I think it's enough for the film to just have that one interaction with his student.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see like more to like maybe just get more insight on like Foster Wallace as a professor, you know?
Totally. I
Yeah.
think all that, like you said, that was all you needed. But I really like after them walking in the hallway and talking about it was like, your students really like you. It was like, do they?
Like, really? They do? Yeah.
That really like you begin to like understand his character after that.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, all of the surrounding, like all of David Foster Wallace's like circumstances, like like on the plane he's talking about how the plane going to Minneapolis for like the last tour
Mhm.
destination. He's talking about like all of his past jobs, and it's like all of it just screams like he's like a normal Midwestern American, you know, like, and that's what. I'm sorry, real fast, Melvin, come here. Melvin, in a new environment, is not good.
Guest on our show, everybody, Melvin,
Ugh.
not a person.
Dog.
Hi, Melvin.
Melvin, what would you rate the movie? Melvin slept through the whole film. So he's giving it a solid 3 for sleepability.
Wow. Thank you, Melvin.
Anyway.
Thank you, Melvin.
Get back in there.
Yeah. Okay, I think my last thought on the film is I like something you said. Lipsky was kind of just mad at Foster Wallace for like being this normal guy and like busting out this 1,000-page book that everyone loves.
Yeah.
I think that's not something I missed in the movie the first time, but thinking about it now, it's like that's up there as like one of the main themes. It's like he's mad.
Yeah.
He loves him and he's enamored with him and he's like his biggest fan, but he's deep down he's just mad at him.
Pissed.
Yeah.
And then like he's pissed that his like girlfriend really likes the book.
Yeah.
Which like when I think about it, like I'm not even gonna lie, like as a creative, like there have been moments where I'm like I think I something that really, really like resonated with me is one of the conversation that they're having in the Mall of America in the food court, where David Foster Wallace is talking about how he's dealing with the success of his book, and he's like, well, like as literaries and like as like novelists that will sit down and write pages and pages and like release it and to get no recognition for it, like for so many years we just tell ourselves that like if a book gets big it's bad.
Yeah.
And then like that same mechanism when your book gets big is like bites you in the ass. And that's like something that I was like, wow, because I think about all the time, like if like I have an interest in like creative in like the fashion industry and stuff, and like I look at like a lot of the stuff that's like trending or like really big and I think it's trash, but like the idea of like something that I do getting big, like, and thinking about it and being like, oh wow, is this trash, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I think the dream is to make money doing what you love and not get too big.
Yeah, right. Stay small enough, but like big enough.
Support local.
Yeah.
All right. Pivot.
Next film, First Reformed.
Part 2, First Reformed. I'll go.
Okay.
Did you want to go?
This is your go.
All right, I'll go. I think I like starting with the number. I'm going to start with the number here. I'm going to give it a 2.4. Okay. I love Ethan Hawke. I really love him. And
this film, he did a good job.
He did a great job in this. It's A24. It's got to be good. The cinematography was great. It was a fresh story. It was cool. I like Amanda Seyfried too. She's nice.
Yeah. She's a good
actor. There was something. I'm not gonna say I'm minus 0.6 just because it was weird, but I think I wanted more with the movie. I think I wanted it to go darker.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that was my like presumption when I like told you about it.
Yeah.
Scandal. I was like, and I saw the posters and like the fire, and I get it. A lot of it was like a lot of like emotional darkness.
Yeah.
Since with like the levitating thing and the end scene, I'll I just read an article that's really interesting. I'll talk about it later. But that's all. That's my yeah.
Okay. For all of the same reasons, I like Ethan Hawke was amazing in this film.
Yeah.
He played his character so well, like really, really good job. Um that's like and the environmental activist, like I think he played a really good like I was really impressed with him and like
I would
him
agree.
like playing this like manic, like depressed uh activist, you know, like I
Yeah.
think he did a really good job. I don't I don't really like Amanda Seyfried. I
Okay.
don't know what it is about her. Like I think she played it well. It's something about her as an actress. I don't really like.
Well, leave that out of it.
Okay, I'm sorry. Like I think she did well. The whole levitating thing, that shit was weird. I don't really like the visuals. Like I understood it. Like I understood that like this wasn't. I just don't think that they needed to be levitating. Like they just like it could have just went to like, oh, this is what they're like thinking about.
Yeah.
Instead, they're like levitating and flying over it. Anyway, and the ending is atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. I don't like I'm a fan of like stopping in the middle of action. Like I'm a fan of that for some films. Yeah, I'm so annoyed. Like there's so many things. What about his potential cancer? Never find out if he actually had it or not. Also, he's got barbed wire all over his body and he's hugging this girl.
I
How is
know.
he not
I
being affected
know.
by it? There's certain things in this film that I'm just like, get out of here. So,
What do you give it? What score?
okay. I'm giving it like a 2.2.
Okay.
Be like 2.2 like almost entirely because of the ending.
Okay. So
Almost entirely because of the ending.
let me start.
And maybe what you're about to say is going to change my mind, but we'll see.
So I'm gonna butcher this to no end, but I'll send you it later. I'll link it, I guess.
Who wrote the okay.
I'll link it down below.
Yeah, link it in the bio. No, not in bio, in description. Damn it, we're not on Instagram anymore, we're on YouTube.
So the title of the article was let's talk about the ending of First Reformed.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
The director would really reference two movies in his like inspiration when he talked to like reporters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the movies is like historically known for its weird ending, and it's kind of like the way.
Do you know the movie?
No, I forgot it.
Do you have the article pulled up?
No, I took it off. It's not important.
Okay.
It's not important.
It's not important. I agree. It's not important.
Anyways, this movie, the plot of that movie is like it's kind of like 2 hours of just events happening, kind of like this movie, but the ending uproots everything, and it's basically a tiny like 30-second mini movie. Like it doesn't like reference the 2 hours at all. So that was his inspiration. Was
Okay.
they had another ending to this. They had the ending where he drank the Drano and he fell off screen and it panned to the crucifix. That was the first ending, and then they trashed it and just said, "Let's go off the wall with it."
Okay. I mean,
that's, and I think it's just interesting, and maybe this obviously it's not perfect. No, there's no perfect endings, but like I think it's interesting that they were really thinking about the ending.
yeah, for sure.
Because movies like this, you would think just it would keep the pacing and just kind of like they would figure out the cancer and like Amanda and him would get together and like the company would go downhill that he hated, whatever. Like I think that was what everyone thought, but they just wanted to uproot it. And
Oh, see, I thought like I would have liked to see like I don't like this like the romance. Like I think they hint at it like the whole film and like I like understood it, but it turned Pastor was I'm just gonna say Ethan
Toller.
Hawke.
Toller.
Toller, Pastor Toller into like a really bad guy in my eyes. Like
Yeah.
I like instant like I think it probably has some uh roots in the fact that I was raised as a Christian little Christian boy. But like the fact that like he's a clergyman and he's like that's
Um,
that I mean that's not I'm not religious
no, no,
anymore,
no,
but like,
no.
that's
I'm
not
not
the
saying that.
yeah.
I'm just saying not a counterpoint, but I'm saying also in the article, which I hadn't thought about. Um, he after his son died, he
Mhm.
found like the church. Like that wasn't something before. So he like found the church and it like filled the whole of his life. And you could obviously see that like it wasn't like he was having really struggle with praying and like he loved what he did and like he liked his little like what he had. But I think the reason for the romance, um, the article kind of said it was like it's like his first actual like good relationship, kind of like they're kind of on the same page after that other failed one at the other church with
Yeah.
that woman. Um, but I think that was the reason, just to show like the church wasn't like it didn't fix everything in him. Like he was still felt empty.
Okay.
Damn, I totally get
That's
your.
a little
I
weak.
understand your like.
I think it's I like I don't think that they needed to do that. Like I think that the fact that he's thinking about blowing up an entire church of people
Yeah,
is enough to show that the church is not like fulfilling him or like didn't put him back together, you
yeah.
know?
I think
Like
also the fact that he like so easily fell into this activist position also
yeah,
showed that he like didn't have a stable life.
no, not at all. Like
Yeah.
I mean that guy is that ends up killing himself, Amanda Seyfried's husband, pretty convincing, you know? Like pretty convincing, but still, like I wouldn't like devolve into like after watching this film, I'm not gonna go blow up a church because of
We
like
have morals.
I mean obviously like I there's a lot of other things that happen. Like he ends up like finding out that his church or like the church that is helping his church is like funded almost entirely by like the
Yeah.
fourth worst polluter in the world, and then he had a chance to like sit with this guy and this and that or whatever. But like I don't know, like that I like everything up until the ending. Like I was like, wow, this is great, like where is this gonna go?
Hmm.
And then I was like really like it's not even
Well,
one of those movies where like it ends and I'm like, oh my god, I want to know that one detail. Like there were a lot of things that were unresolved, like the entire film was unresolved, and that's my beef with the movie. Like how are you going to end like this internal struggle with him just making out with a widow that like I don't know, like I just like don't really believe it. Like it's
yeah, it's definitely.
and like are we to believe that everything's like hunky dory now? Like also Amanda Seyfried's character, why are you falling back into a relationship with a lunatic who was gonna blow himself up? Like you're literally like like I know
Well, she
there's
didn't
other
know.
I don't know.
She didn't know. I have one. I have one major beef with her character. Um, the fact that she took her husband's death so easily.
I mean, I think it just showed that
Bad.
he was like too far gone. But I agree with you. Like I had that thought too. Like when I
I was
had
like,
that thought,
whoa, is she like involved in this?
I also thought that for sure. Like when the cop is leaving her house, like after he tells her that her husband committed suicide, I was like expecting to hear like crying or nothing
And she was
or
like, "Have a
something.
good day."
She's like, "Yeah, see you later, officer." It's like,
That was just weird. But yeah, I think I ending whatever. I think I look at this kind of movie as like the theme, and I think the theme worked really well for just like internal struggle. I think it was nice that he kept a journal and
yeah,
all these
and
different
the
all these different things that was having. The narration was cool.
yeah,
Um,
really good.
but yeah, I don't know. Me personally, like when I look at a movie like this, it was a great movie, and I don't want the ending to taint that for me. So I just kind of look at like the movie.
I think I have a hard time like accepting, like it just feels like I want to know if they had written something more than just him drinking the Drano and it panning up to the cross. Because even that is like, for me, like I think it resolves it more because like we're assuming that Toller is dead, and like
Yeah,
that resolves it.
yeah,
Like that resolves it a lot, like okay, it drove him to end up killing himself. And then you would like sit there and like think about it, and the message would be more like the environmental message would be more impactful in the fact that like two men killed themselves over this
yeah.
one like like weeks, not even, after hearing about all of this stuff, like really like learning about it. So I think that's like a strong, like for me, that's a stronger message if you're like wanting the overall like theme of and message of the film to be about like environmental impact, because like obviously that plays a huge role in the film. And like, do you think it has more to do with God? Like, also, I just want to ask this question just to see where you are on that. Like, do you think this film is pro-church at all? Or like maybe not pro-church, but like pro-faith?
I think this movie did a really good job of showing just like internal struggle with it all. Like
Yeah.
I loved that they had the first Reformed church and this mega church, because
Mm-hmm.
that's like there's a lot of that right now. Like there's a lot of like local churches and just people being like good Christians, and then there's people like I'm a good Christian. I go to this mega church. I do everything I
Yeah.
can. Like the guy saying, "You don't live real life. Like, do you know what it takes?"
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really didn't like when he said that.
Yeah. I
Because there's
liked
not
that
like
character
one
all the
life.
way up until that point.
There's not one life.
Yeah.
Um, anyways, I was gonna say like I thought it was really interesting how much they talked about like climate change in this. I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting that at all, and I
It's like it's one of the biggest drivers of the film, I think.
yeah. And thinking back, it's really interesting that they did that. I thought they would have it more mixed. I mean, they definitely had his health problems like the entire film, and like, but that was more subtle. Climate
Mm.
change was like in your face, like I don't know. It was interesting. I thought it was going to be a more of like a mix of problems, but it was really focused on like climate, like
Mm.
scientist first religion kind of thing.
Yeah. But I did like, I liked the fact that like he is a pastor, and like I liked how I think that kind of like was trying to vindicate some people in the church, in the sense of like, I think for a lot of people, one of the biggest things that keeps them from believing in climate change is like their faith in God, or like maybe not belief in climate change, but the belief that like the earth is like actually fucked.
Yeah.
Like is belief in God. Like there's people that are like, oh, if God wants it this way, it's just gonna be this way, or like
Yeah.
God like has a plan for everything. And
I think it's Republicans and very devout Christians are the only ones that are
John, that it's the same thing. The
Oh,
public
oh,
stuff
okay. Oh,
really,
oh.
yeah,
It's
that's the
just a Venn
same exact
diagram.
thing,
It's
John.
just
Um,
the people
no,
that go
but
to mega churches.
yeah, yeah. But I think it was cool that it was a pastor who was like, who, is radicalized in this environmental like struggle.
He was
And like,
definitely a cool pastor.
oh, for sure.
He
Like
was like, "Oh yeah, I'll talk to your husband." Yeah.
if he was like a pastor at a church that I went to, I might still be Christian.
Wow.
But I'm
Wow, that just we're not talking about the movie at all anymore. We're talking about Nick as a little kid. If he had Ethan Hawke as a
Ethan
pastor,
Hawke. Ethan Hawke as Reverend Toller. I might be on board with the whole God thing.
but then this movie wouldn't have.
No, but yeah, I liked this film literally up until the ending, and then I was like, Jenny was asleep next to me, and I woke her up because I said, "Are you fucking kidding me? This is how the movie ends."
She's like, "Ah, man."
She's like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "This movie ended terribly."
So let's
That's
talk
wrong.
about you and what you like in an ending. Do you need like complete closure and like all loose ends tied? Do you not
No,
like wild endings?
no, I do like wild endings, and I don't need everything like finished. Like
How
I
do
do
you feel about endings?
like I do enjoy. I'm trying to think of a film that like kind of just ends, and you're like all I'm thinking about there is oh hello, and they're like, oh waiter, I'll have one more root beer, please.
Honestly, that's the best ending I could think of too.
Yeah, for sure. But like no, I think that like there can be loose ends, and there can be like, oh, like what do you think happened? Like kind of an ending. Like I think that's interesting. It sparks like conversation.
Yeah.
But with this film, like I feel like there's not enough to even have the conversation about what
Okay.
happened. Like oh, are we to believe that they got together and like everything was like hunky dory? Also, did he go to the ER? Like this man's cut up. Like does he have cancer? Does he die of his cancer? Like does he continue, like does he go to rehab like that, like the other pastor
So
wants him
you
to?
want all loose ends tied.
I don't want all of them. I want something that indicates something. Like it doesn't indicate anything, and it's lame. It's a cop out. I
I
think it's a cop out.
Okay. All right. You've persuaded me a little bit. I think it's a little bit of a cop out, but I'll leave you with this. We should probably wrap it up.
Yeah.
I leave you with this. Something else I read in the article. It was a really good article. The camera is still for the entire movie. Like there's no panning or anything. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. And then the end when they're kissing, it circles around them. Like wildly circles around them. And they were talking about this is like they both feel free and like something new is happening. So I think for the sake of argument for the ending that the director chose, I think it's kind of like there's so much else going on, but in this moment, they both feel like something new is happening.
Okay.
All right. So the movies next week are. Are you?
I no, I like that's cool. I don't think it should be the final scene though, but that's cool. I like that. Like I really do like that. That's a good point. Shouldn't be the ending. Cool.
I think we both deep down agree. um,
What do we got next week?
we have. Okay, so this is how this works. At the end of this, we'll say the movies that you're supposed to watch. You, the viewer,
Yes.
for next week, so you know what we're talking about, and there's no spoilers.
And then
We
you
have
can also sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna link it down below. I know. We have Tu Mamá También. That is in Spanish. It is on Netflix. You should have Netflix. And it is an interesting movie that I've never so this whole list is like movies I've never seen, and Nick maybe hasn't seen them. Have you seen this movie?
No. I
Yeah.
I have seen very few non-English films.
Okay. I don't know how to interpret that.
It means that I'm uncultured. That's what it means.
Ah, okay.
It means that I'm an entitled American.
And then I think the theme that I've been going with is just very opposite movies, nothing related for the two movies. So the other one is Missing Link on Hulu. And
Love it.
you
I'm
should
excited.
find nothing in common with these two movies, but if you do, bring it back to the comment section and let us know because you're crazy.
Yeah.